How about some audio now? And we'll get you guys in as well. How you guys
There it
doing this
goes.
evening?
Okay, it's going now.
Okay. How are you doing? To to you too, right, James?
My audio is good.
No, but like, how's your day? How's your day going?
Oh, how my day going? Uh, it's my birthday.
Today?
Um,
Oh,
yeah.
happy
Um,
birthday.
Capricorns do not
thank you.
announce their birthdays. I don't know what is up
No,
with it.
no, it's a
I
little
don't do
surprise
it.
for everybody.
Mark doesn't do it. Marcel didn't do it. I don't know a single Capricorn out there celebrating their birthdays.
It's too close to um Christmas. So
It's what? I don't know about that. If someone's birthday is who's the same, like 10 days, I think I'm gonna give you a little bit of a reprieve from that kind of thinking. What about you, Ryan? Happy
uh
birthday to you too.
yeah, happy birthday to you, Ryan.
Uh, that's in 3 weeks.
So you're almost
Okay.
Capricorn. What's the one after
Pisces.
Capricorn? Pisces, huh?
I'm a fish.
Mm,
Yes.
crab goat. I don't know. I don't know what a crab goat is, but James, you're astrology major.
No, no, not even a little bit.
Not even a
If
little
if
bit.
if you asked me what my sign was, I would not be able to tell you.
It's Capricorn. Everybody knows that. I
I
just
don't
know it
think so.
because I'm starting to realize that I see
I
traits in me
I'm
and
a
other Capricorns.
I'm Aquarius.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, well you're probably Pisces rising though, so got a Cancer moon maybe. Hard to say. I would have to get the star charts out.
Let's see. Let's look at my horoscope for today.
Ew. What is it?
Uh,
Run the last checks here. I think we're all good to go. What's your horoscope
uh,
for Aquarius?
family challenges may require patience and understanding. Be a pillar of support. Okay. My lucky number is number one.
Oh, there we go.
That
You know
he
what?
was number one.
You know what my lucky number is?
8.
374. That's right. This episode. This is my weakest transition. I
Yeah.
said that
That was,
intro.
that was a strong tradition.
Hello and welcome to Gold Squadron Podcast. My name is William Hegwood, and that's not how the intro goes. This is episode 374 Gold Squadron Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Will. All I know is I need Neil, and I want to see more of him. Hegwood. And tonight I'm joined by Ryan, X-Wing Refugee. Set incoming? Stanzewski. I added the question mark.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure most people don't know what that means. But yeah, the next set in Star Wars Unlimited is very space and piloting centric, and it looks very much like anything that anyone enjoyed in X-Wing would exist there. So yeah, if you haven't tried Star Wars Unlimited, Set 4 coming out in March. If you played X-Wing, it's the set you want to try out.
So, like a hero that's known for piloting ships out there? Have they
Oh
spoiled
yeah,
anything?
we got Wedge leader
Ooh,
shown
a wedge
already.
leader? Okay.
It's going to
Oh,
have Major
Soontir
Von
Fel?
Reg in it as a leader.
Mm,
No
okay.
sign of Soontir Fel yet, but
Maybe a card.
it's
He's
not.
probably a card, right? He's got to be a character out there flying this little spaceship.
Lando pilot from his Return of the Jedi times. Admiral Piet, Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Okay.
Great.
All right.
Lots of shit. It's got a TIE Brute, Onyx Squadron Brute in there.
Whoa. How many
Yeah,
E-Wings?
Yeah,
Can
they're really
Um,
digging deep for that brute.
E-Wings or
None
K-Wings?
yet. No K-Wings yet. They haven't shown the whole set, but like they got Asajj's ship, the Banshee, in there. They got what is some other
Okay.
potential deep cuts.
Because they've been doing Clone Wars and Civil War era combined together. Or is this...
Yeah,
It would have to
so
be,
this
right?
isn't very era specific in this set. In like the first set of Unlimited, it was like original trilogy. Second set was like Scum, Bounty Hunter, Fringe, out like Underworld stuff. Third set was Clone Wars. The fourth set is space piloting stuff related to that. And it seems a lot of it is original trilogy, but there's still stuff from like outside of that. There's plenty of Resistance stuff and First Order stuff. There's a couple of Clone Wars stuff. So they're getting a little out of the trilogy specific sets, and this one's just filling out more things with a lot of spaceships and pilots.
Sounds exciting. I do have an encyclopedic knowledge of Star Wars vehicles these days. So
Yeah, especially with X-wing, it's like, oh, I know this ship because I played it in X-wing.
Right.
Probably only know it because of X-wing.
Right. All right. Also, over here, wherever I'm, if I'm pointing in the right direction, we got James Denny Worf Ritter. Did I say that?
Yeah, I just got back from Disney World.
Okay.
I just got back from Disney World with some friends. Had a good time. Sprained my calf, and then my wife got sick with food poisoning. So,
Dude, you shouldn't
besides
bring any
that-
bovine animals to Disney World.
I know. It's a bad idea. But
Sorry.
yeah,
Anyways. Did you go to
good.
the Falcon in the Outer Rim world
Oh,
or
yeah.
whatever it's called?
Oh yeah.
Is that your first time there? I don't think so.
No,
You're a
because I did the
kid, aren't
Disney.
you?
Yeah, I went to Disneyland in California, and it's the same exact.
That's what
Yeah.
it was. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that one is Black Spire Outpost in California, and the other one is it's not Galaxy. Is it Galaxy's Edge? I can't remember.
Galaxy's Edge is one of them. Yeah.
Yeah. So the one in Florida is Galaxy's Edge, but they were the exact same. The same rides, same layout. Like it was like eerie.
Well, why
but
design
I
two?
was-
Why design two theme parks? You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
don't let it reinvent the wheel. I just thought it was weird that like I was like walking around, and it was like the exact same as California, down to like where everything is. Like, everything's located.
Yeah.
So
It's like going into Walmart in a different town. You know?
yeah, it's like, oh, I know where everything is. Or what restaurant does that all the time? Like Chili's, you know what I mean? Like Olive Garden. All of them are the same.
Every cheesecake factory has this
Yep.
the exact same decor. I hear
Yeah.
you. I hear you.
But
Oh,
yeah,
it's
I
exciting.
did Falcon Ride. Did the
Did you get
Rise
a
of
lightsaber?
Resistance. No, I have 3, and we took a plane, and they're so expensive. So
Get a new crystal? Do you get one
I
of
did
those
not.
random
I did-
crystals?
no. I don't know if they're doing random ones anymore. You can just buy the one you want.
Oh.
Like they have the colors.
They used to
set
have
out,
like
but-
rare black and like neon ones and stuff. I thought you had to. I don't know.
Yeah.
I imagine it was like in like a gumball and you had to like put the quarter in or whatever. But that's
Yeah, I think
they're
that's
probably
what
more
it
than a
used to
quarter.
be.
Isn't it? So
No, it was good. I did get to do the light speed on the Falcon ride, so that was all worth it.
Nice.
So, I don't know. Have you gone there yet and done the rides?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Is
I would love to.
is your partner a Disney person?
That's not the kind of vacation we would take.
Okay, I mean that's fair.
We would drive
Well, we
into
just
the
did-
wilderness and not talk to anybody for a week. That would be our vacation. Now,
Oh, my God.
going to a place with more people that's more expensive doesn't really. It's not
Yeah,
our
we
place.
We did it with 3 other couples. So
Okay, well,
it was 8 of us going at the same time.
dang.
So
Okay.
yeah, it was pretty fun. Like, we got to see some friends that we hadn't seen in a couple years, so that was really cool.
Awesome. Pretty cool. Not jealous or anything.
Yeah, not jealous.
Anyways.
Yeah, you should definitely, like, at least go out to California. I think California is probably cheaper, but
I would
to do.
love to, but
Yeah.
it's on the bucket list. Trust me.
It's on the bucket list.
Before we go into our headlines and main topics, though, I gotta thank our largest group of supporters. That's the Patreons. They keep this podcast going. They get us to major events like Worlds coming up. So a big shout out to them, everybody who is able to help us financially through these times. If you want to be one of those people, check out patreon.com/Gold Squadron. I would really ensure everything's going good around here, and those who have been supporting us, heart goes out to you. We wouldn't be here 9 years. We're getting pretty long. So all that is from the Patreon. So thank you so much. Again, patreon.com/Gold Squadron. So let's start with headlines here. First up is, I didn't put these in the right order, but Adepticon tickets for Worlds are on sale right now. I forget when they opened them up, like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, something like that. I had the counter down. But if you are wanting to come, or if you're a Midwesterner and like miniatures conventions, even if you don't want to spend the time playing X-Wing, Adepticon now in Milwaukee is set to be one of the biggest, best in the whole country. Recently moved down to Milwaukee, and we got to sit down with, I don't even know what Hank's official title is. He's just in charge of everything. So I don't know what that makes him.
I think official title, Adepticon dude.
Yeah, we've only ever really talked to one person. There's only ever really been one person solving our problems, and his name's Hank. In fact, his name's not Hank, but we call him Hank.
It's not even yeah, his name's actually, he went on this long spiel about how his like whole family is named William, so he had to have a different name.
We went with Hank, and but yeah, we got a chance to sit down with them, locked in our streaming situation, got to discuss things about our needs, what they need from us, all that beautiful networking. But of course, officially locked in now. We didn't think that there was going to be a problem, but now we can say officially heading to Worlds. Gonna get a streaming table set up in the new convention center out of Milwaukee. It's going to be a little bit of adjustment. We kind of got a little spoiled last year. Oh, our streaming areas are getting just better and better every year. But we're going to have to make some sacrifices in space this year. But again, like I said, big shout out to Hank, everybody at the Adepticon. So accommodating. And for those wondering, from my understanding, don't quote me on this, but from my understanding, there will be a home for X-Wing at Adepticon for many years in the future. So even if the X-Wing community, isn't associated with Atomic Mass Games or Asmodee, they showed. Hank totally understands. He's a big gamer. You don't run a convention for like 20 years and don't have that kind of passion that other players of these games do. So, just putting out there for right now.
He's like, I hate nerds. I hate.
Oh yeah, well, they're worse than a bunch of them meeting all at the same place. Yeah, but no, the exact opposite of that. So, that's really like heartwarming that he would. He's not only able to, but is going the extra mile to ensure X-Wing in, well, I assume they're going to stay in Milwaukee. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it's a good event and we can stay in Milwaukee for years to come. So that's really, really cool to hear, getting everything locked in.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
he's
it's
already
very
looking
exciting.
to the future. He's
Right.
he's already planning for 2026. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
um,
Yeah, Hank's,
definitely.
I'm sure Hank's and the rest of the Adepticon crew, they're thinking years ahead, right? You don't,
Yeah,
you don't
here,
have a
here I am,
successful
like,
convention
what am,
going day by day, right?
yeah, I'm over here like, what am I gonna have for dinner? And they're thinking about 2027. So
Yeah, exactly, right? So that's really fantastic here. Hopefully we can get more details about that, but it was really reassuring to know that Adepticon is willing to support that, and it's not going to be like a whole thing where it's like, oh, you're not official anymore. You know, who cares? They know we care. So they well, hopefully have many worlds to come. But this one, of course, we are down on the count day, less than 2 months now. So, like I said, get registered up at Adepticon.org and get all your information about that. We're going to be there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which made me assume that it's a top 64 cut. If they have a cut on Saturday and Sunday, if the cut's going 2 days, I assume that might be 4 rounds, then 2 rounds. I don't know. Have you guys heard anything about that?
Oh, so I don't think it's
Elimination?
it's like an elimination cut. So
Okay.
I'm pretty sure treat like the first 2 heats, the
Right.
Thursday, Friday, as like those are qualifiers.
Mm.
And then they will take the batch of people who qualify and have them do Swiss on the Saturday. And then that'll run. And then that will give us a top 8, 16, whatever the cut is. Well, 16 is probably the highest they're going to go based on just like amount of time they normally allotted to do. But
Yeah,
8 or
they try not
16
to
that would
do
be my
more than
assumption.
8, especially in the last day, and
Yeah.
so
they'll do the cut on Sunday. So my guess is like
that makes
treat
more
the 2
sense.
heats as qualifying for the Saturday to have a chance to be in the top cut Sunday.
Okay, that makes sense.
yeah,
I mean, I got full.
Basically like a graduated Swiss into Saturday.
That's a good way of putting it. I threw all my concerns out the window because I know the World's team just knocks it out of the park every year, and Chris has been doing research and math and statistics on this stuff, so I'm just going to trust
Who's bringing
his
math into
judgment.
X-Men?
He's just going to trust his scheduling.
I don't know if
and-
anyone knows how to like structure an event and knows the research on events better than Chris.
Oh,
And also discussing it with his whole team, right? Like he's always in like chatting with those guys, I'm pretty sure. And anything they've learned around the world from their GT events that they've helped run is all kind of still, in influencing how they make sure things will run for this year's Worlds with also taking consideration previous year's World.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely not the Chris Allen show.
If you have an idea, they've probably already discussed it and went a different direction for a reason.
Yeah. Also, it's not just the Chris Allen show; it's the Chris Mitchell show and the Chris Sheriff show.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It's definitely not. We say Chris Allen because it's like our friend or whatever, and he's the most like vocal. I guess it's not really the best way to put it, but we talked to him about it, so that's kind of our point of reference. And there's I haven't met a more selfless group of people. Are willing to take their time, and they came and go play the game. They just had to watch all the fun. So, big shout out to all those volunteers. Head now to the Adepticon. What was else is on one thing? Oh, speaking of Adepticon and Worlds, there was a stealth update that's been mended to the tournament regulations. Essentially now, used to be really easy. Used to be 75 minutes, and now rounds should be 90 minutes. Actually, I wanted to quote it, but I don't have the link. Because there's specific verbiage that they use. Do you have it pulled up?
Yeah. The event organizer should never tell players the remaining time in the round. Oh, sorry. I'll start from the beginning. Event organizer should start the timer for an event round after most players have found their seats and begun to set up. They should never tell players the remaining time in the round. If the game has not concluded when the timer for an event runs out, the players finish the current game round and calculate their scores. The base round is 90 minutes, and then to create a variable game length, you roll the attack die and defense dice, then you do a bunch of weird math based on that. So you can go +3 or -3 minutes.
Right. So a lot of that sounds like it hasn't changed. Pretty standard stuff.
And
I
still
don't
12 rounds of play. Yeah.
I don't remember what the wording was about when the timer started. Now I know Chris has been kind of experimenting with this to get some feedback of, well, if we don't have timers, you can't just be like, the round started and everyone's like, okay, 75-minute timer counting down on my little personal phone here. Kind of defeats the whole purpose of it, right? So they were thinking of taking a step farther. Don't announce the start of the round. Announce pairings. And these kind of rules, to me, kind of reflect that philosophy. And which, like I said, I don't know the exact verbiage before, but to me, this sounds like the tournaments. It's not going to be a dramatic change. Do you guys feel the same way?
Sure. I'm not sure that there ever was very specific verbiage. Do you remember, Ryan, if there was anything that was as specific as it is now before? I feel like it was very vague before. It was just like, start the timer, and then they have 75 minutes.
Yeah, I don't recall like specifically anything that said like you must wait for players to be at this point or majority of players to be doing that.
Right.
I think it was all to discretion of the judges and just trying to make sure that the events move along in a reasonable manner.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it really is timing of the event they're hosting it or the store in which they're hosting it, right? Their own timetables that they have. But I think overall, just like because they implemented a little bit at Gen Con. We're like, okay, we're going to give you the pairings. Just go play. Just start. Don't wait. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And they will start, and the TOs will start the timer at their discretion. Right? So some players, if they're set up faster, might actually get more than the normal allotted, like 78 minutes, which was like the max on the die roll or whatever. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Some players might get less if they take too long. Ideally, everyone should be in a general average bracket of time allotted to play the game. Now, just as to clarification too, this isn't like 90 minutes as soon as they start the pairings. It's still the same thing where it's like they'll set up the pairings. You likely will just go start, and the TOs will, at their discretion, do the like random die roll. But now it's on the 90-minute bracket, so it could be like 87 to 93 or 88 to 92 or something, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's legitimately like more time you're allotted to play the game on top of how they've been treating the GTs this year.
Yeah. Well, but how much would you say? I mean, or maybe I should ask that a different way. With that extra allotted time, because what is your thoughts on the differences in games? Do you think that will have an impact, and what kind of impact do you think it will have?
I think it's definitely going to have an impact. There's no way it's not going to have an impact, right?
I mean, yeah, that's an extra 15 minutes, right?
In theory, a whole extra round for most games.
But so let's talk about like some of the lists that benefited with less time, right? Like no matter what the time it was. An example would be, as I think I had previously chatted with people who had spent a lot of time playing First Order, the last like season leading up to Worlds or whatever. And one thing they had found at the time, and some of the lists they were mainly using was if I can reach or like they were more on the hyper defensive route where they had like multiple mag pulses and they would deny objectives and just kind of slowly deny their opponent getting either kill points because they've turtled up or neutered their offense, or they've denied them getting objectives a la knocking boxes off with said mag pulse or whatever else.
Right.
A lot of those denial strategies, because there's theoretically more turns, the amount of turns that you're allotted that denial has a smaller percentage impact on the rest of the game because you're allotted more time. So theoretically, those lists that have those sort of potential debuffing effects, unless it steamrolls a game and actually like leads to like, okay, the shot trading we're doing is going to heavily favor someone because of a mag pulse to hit someone, whereas other effects were just like, I'm just trying to neuter you and mitigate you for as much time while still staying ahead in the objective race and doing damage to my opponent. So the lists that wanted the game to only occur in a smaller amount of rounds are going to be lists that are impacted the most, right? The less time you have to shoot at something or to acquire points has benefit on certain lists. Not to say people specifically like play to the strategy of like, I'm only going to let my opponent play 4 or 5 rounds, right? There was not a lot of that. There was some of that. It's happened. We've seen it. But the majority of the players will play the game and try to play it out without specifically deciding that I want my opponent and me to only play X amount of rounds. But it will hurt lists that have an early advantage of point or kill point or objective point denial for a turn or two, basically, because of effects like Mag Pulse Missile or temporary effects on a per turn basis. So that's my general theory at the start. It also could mean lists that were huge beefs of health. You're given more time to work through those as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if that holds up some people's ability to, corral those points and finish them off in destruction, it allows them more time to do that. Where eventually the War of Attrition, when it was, a smaller set of time available to you, would favor the list that, takes a little more time to weed through, but eventually you will get through them because they are low agility, they will take damage. But if they trade it back and did so much damage offensively, they would get an early lead, but eventually they would still continually take damage throughout the longevity of the game if you didn't have spike damage to get them. So there were multiple ways to get an advantage earlier in the game. And now you're going to have to maintain that for a little bit longer.
So there's a lot of different list archetypes that are, I'll say, quote unquote, nerfed by the increase of 15 minutes, like we talked about with Beef. I would even go as far to say like Alpha Strike. Once they shoot off their munitions or whatever they're getting their Alpha Strike with, now they have even longer to try to keep up that advantage, sort of like with the high agility aces. So, is there any list archetypes that come to mind that get inherently stronger with this change?
Ironically, I would imagine something that has many like high health ships. So not thinking like tanky ships is like a Falcon, but tanky ships is what we'd seen in Last World. So it's like clone beef list. Now there's obviously different from they were last year. You can't run triple arc these days, but the that kind of like
you can run triple arc, just not in the same manner you used to.
Well, yeah. Okay, I should phrase that. You can't run the same list they used to be able to in that kind of archetype. But the advantage of that list was to go slow, protect your objectives, protect your side of the board. So now when your opponent can uh, respond to your kind of slow rolling in for maybe rounds 1 and 2, they can also respond accordingly. So they, like you were saying, the Alpha Strike, which is actually very interesting that you mentioned that, because immediately I was like, what? No, they just end the game right away. But that's not exactly how Alpha Strikes work, because in my experience, anyways, you just create a very long round 1 and round 2, and then the rounds kind of taper off, like the round length
Yeah.
tapers
Like
off after that.
your staying power and your offensive power, theoretically, in most Alpha Strike lists, generally drop off after those first 2 rounds of
Right.
combat.
You were worried about round 1, 2, maybe 3, but
Yeah,
like,
and then you're hoping that the advantage that you created in those couple of rounds can sustain you through the rest of the game. But now, if there's more rounds and more time in the game, it gives
right.
your opponent an opportunity to claw
Well,
back.
yeah, and you don't have to then fight the alpha on its own terms, right? You can deploy sideways, right? Do these things where you're like, okay, I don't need to engage you right away because I know I'm getting that 7th, 8th, or 9th round now.
Yeah.
In my mind, it's just
Right.
maybe an extra round. Hopefully it and that's approximately like 10-15 minutes or so, depending on the excitement of that kind of like last round or two.
So you're trying to try to orchestrate a better engagement.
Well,
For
you don't have, because normally
round.
you'd be like, well, if this Alpha Strike's gonna take a 20-minute round 1 because they get like 2 or 3 shots, and we're gonna spend a lot. Everybody's gonna shoot in round 2 kind of situation. Like everybody should be shooting round 2 because that Alpha Strike's coming. Now you don't have to just line up and like wait for them to show up, right? You can fly off, maybe get a better position in round 2
Try
without
to
having,
like drag them through the rocks or something.
right, right, because now you won't, because now if the alpha happens in turn 3, you still have a couple more engagements to go. You're not kind of locked in on that shorter game. I just thought it was really interesting because, like I said, initially I'd be like, no, Alpha Strikes, no, they win right away. They don't need time, but they do need time if the once they flip to that kind of defensive self-preservation, which is basically what Ryan was saying. These lists that want to just preserve the game state for as long as possible.
Yeah, get an early lead and then preserve. Try to hold on.
Like there's definitely two different ends of the spectrum, and I think the best examples are comparing like what the B Wings did last World, right? They got up, they provided a strong offense,
Right.
and a lot of health to try and chew through. You can get through them eventually. Sometimes you don't get through both. You don't get through one and another thing that's in their list. And on the flip side, right? You look at a first order list, like I mentioned, that has Malorus with Mag Pulse, Vonreg with Mag Pulse, Kylo Whisper with jamming effects, right? They're both accomplishing a somewhat similar effect, just in a different manner. They're getting an early lead and trying to maintain with via their munitions. One munition being on a debuff scale, another being on an offensive scale. So one's trying to get an early points lead, while the other's trying to deny you a points gain.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. I like that analogy. Interesting.
Because as we all kind of know, like, or as we may remember, after a while, when the B Wings have to start flying back, like after their first initial pass, it's like they're have struggled,
they have to actually
right?
start flying. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Like unless you actually path it correctly, or just bulldozer over through whatever your opponent put in front of you, and they might have accidentally put it in front of you. Maybe they have already made it up anyway, and even if another 15 minutes occurs, it might not matter. And on the first order side, they use the mag pulses, they make their first pass, they get to range 1, do some damage, and then if there's enough pressure still put on them, though, Malorus has run out of charges. Vonreg doesn't have as many places to go. Kylo's, if he hasn't contributed enough, then he's kind of got to find a way to flip around because his back arc isn't really doing anything. Right? All that stuff that we've seen in the past, a similar effect, right? That first initial pass has to land in the strategy they need to accomplish. Otherwise, if it continues in the game and they didn't get their advantage, they're put on the back foot, most likely against lists that have consistent firepower, such as we remember like the 5 resistance ships that they just grind it out, right? That type of list in some capacity where it's just quality stuff that's, semi-middle on the durability, it just has consistent mods, like that could grind out more games now. I don't know if it's going to like be notably better because it has 90 minutes now versus 75, but
sure, and we're not.
I think it's gonna be hard to.
Sorry, go ahead. Finish.
I think it's gonna be hard to really like immediately be like, okay, I'm gonna start playing this because I have 15 more minutes. That I don't think that's gonna be able to be figured out at all. Right. But I do think there's some general theories and things you're gonna have to know going forward. That some things might change a little bit because you've got 15 more minutes. Yeah, I would sure hope that more games come to completion. That's my bottom line.
We'd hope. No, I was just going to echo that same thought process on it. Yeah, really, my only my closing thoughts are just, if you're going to these GTs or really any tournament, play your list at least once, which means you have all your components. Get all your components in a single thing. I use a core box. I straight up use, if you've never seen me at a tournament, I use a core box and I put my ships and my stuff in there. But with these new emphasis on getting to your table, getting set up, would just of course recommend, if you're newer to the scene or if you don't have some sort of kit or plan to be transporting your ships and models and gear. What was the other thing I was saying? Don't bring any extra stuff. Don't bring a lot of extra stuff. I've seen people bringing whole toolkits and stuff they gotta lug around, backpacks, coats, things like that. But like, you really don't need those. They're only gonna hinder you from getting to your opponent and the table. So I assume everybody at Worlds is gonna be familiar with this. I don't know about what kind of table spacing we got between the mats. I think last year it was getting pretty narrow. But if the emphasis is on getting to the table and getting set up so everybody can have an equal footing for the round, just do your part and help out with that as best you can. Most X-Wing players are pretty good about it, but just a thing.
Hopefully, we'll have a little bit more room this year because we have a bigger venue. But I mean, X-Wing generally always has a little bit less room than most other games, just because we're trying to fit in the 3x3.
Right, they're trying to put almost 3 mats on those 9-foot, 10-foot tables. So it runs out quick.
Yeah.
I know. We should switch to 6-foot mats. What do you think? Huh? Just only play Epic.
Only play Epic. I'm in. I'm in. I'm just hoping XWA finds out a way to put in Epic on standard games, like big ships on standard games.
We can only hope. Maybe we'll see that at the next Worlds.
Oh my goodness! If we get like transports and stuff in the next Worlds, that'd be crazy.
Well, I mean, it's on my hopes and wishes list, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm sure they got a lot more things to do than worry about that. What else was I going to say? Anything else about Worlds? I think I lost what I was gonna my last closing thoughts on. Anything else about Worlds?
I think we'll go into a lot more detail about Worlds prep that we do every year. When we get a little bit closer, but
right.
Go over what you should bring, what you should not bring, and how to start practicing and all that.
Right.
I also think it'd be worth getting in touch with your local store. If you got enough of a maybe not local scene that shows up like a weekly or monthly basis, because I know it's pretty slim these days playing locally. But I think it's worth, whether it's like in the month of February or the first couple weeks in March, like just find one weekend or two that you may want to get with one of your stores and see if they can set aside a day and put the word out to people who you believe uh would believe are going to Worlds, or even just people who used to play X-Wing locally, and maybe they're itching for playing a game with some friends for a day on a weekend, and see if you can line yourself up with some X-Wing for the last Worlds.
I mean, I like the idea of like a watch party. We're obviously going to be there streaming the games for 4 days. I mean, if you're going to be watching X-Wing at your home, reach out to those old X-Wing players, see what they're up to, see if they want to get a game in, reminisce. So, I like that idea. It's going to be an exciting time. Lot of feels. Let me tell you, it's going to be hard to describe those emotions at the Worlds, but we'll have to cross that bridge when we get to it. But I think we're all obviously very excited for these major events, including grand tournaments. Now, it's been a bit since we talked about it, and now that I got myself scratching my head, there's no more road to Worlds. I had myself second guessing it before. I'm trying to think of it the other day, but we're so used to store championships, providing invites. We used to do a lottery system a long time ago to get into Worlds, but the Worlds this year, singular event, correct? None of that requires you to do anything before you show up. You don't have to have played in any other X-Wing event this year. Nothing like that.
Nope. That's why it's like basically the 2 heat days is an open Worlds event. You make it through the 2 qualifying sort of heat days, and you can play on Saturday.
Awesome.
But also, there's plenty of side events, so check those out. They look really cool.
True. Doubles. Of course, they had the games or like a scenario library there as well. So last year. I know a lot of people were excited to try out the Battle over Endor that they had available. For better or worse, I don't assume we'll have a new surprise product release right before Worlds or a major points update like we've had in the last 2 Worlds. No, it's just last Worlds that they did the Bistan Han and whatnot, and my TIE bombers. So this tournament regulation will hopefully be the last change to the World's plans, but they keep surprising us, so hard to say for sure if we won't get any surprises. Wouldn't that be crazy if they're just like, all right, we're changing everything like a week before? Be nuts. But
that's what I think email was saying. It was like he was saying that.
Yes.
Yeah. He was saying that they actually did like a full announcement for the Armada changes, which were pretty substantial. They had pretty substantial.
Right. We were talking about those when we were talking, or you were talking about them when we were talking to Hank about Armada.
Yeah. So
they had significant ones.
Substantial. Yeah. Like pretty, like not meta changing, but like a lot of things that were a little weak got like good little like point drops. So.
Okay. You know what?
And then a couple cards got changed or rotted. But.
That's nice.
Yeah. Not nearly anything close to what they did for X-Wing for this update. So he's thinking that they may have another X-Wing update in store before Adepticon. So we'll see. We'll get our.
We'll be on the horn. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Letting everybody know.
Yeah.
It would be very exciting. But we are reaching the finale of the Grand Tournament season. So we did want to talk about some that have happened recently. Let me get these pulled up. I know one happened in Las Vegas. So we're going to take a look at that one first. This was on the 17th. Let me pull it up here. Well, I guess I haven't pulled it. Let me pull it up so I can actually look at it. Yes, this is back on the 17th. Of course, the old Rio in Las Vegas. I assume it's still at the Rio. Why would they have changed LVO in the last 15 years? But unfortunately, we weren't able to make it out this year. Marcel had a chance to go. So hopefully we can catch him, have him recount his tales, but not the best showing for him. TLDR 3-2. But let's take a look at people who did perform exceedingly well. This was a 2-day event, which I believe goes into a ladder bracket for the third day, if I'm not mistaken. That's how events go.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a day 1,
Specifically-
day 2. Yeah.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
and each day they took the top 4 of day 1 and day 2 and made a top 8 in the final day.
Fantastic. I thought we'd get like a bracket here. Oh, here it is. Nice. So, I'm going to see all these amazing people. See a couple names, of course. Dwight, Brack, or Rathos out there. I don't know which Rathos that is, but
That one's DU.
I think it's still DO. That's fair.
If there's a chopper ghost in it, it's DU.
Probably. I haven't looked at the...
Is he still doing the chopper ghost?
Yeah, absolutely.
Probably. Why
Oh,
not?
my
Why not?
goodness.
Let's take a look at those lists. Do I have to go day by day then? Oh, no. The lists are hidden.
You gotta go day by day.
Yeah, unfortunately, I
Oh,
gotta go
'cause
to
I'm-
each
'cause
day.
I'm-
So the top 4 of each day. I don't know why the ladder's hidden.
Oh, because this is the
Day's
combined
fine.
one. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think that this will mess anything up for me to go to day 1. So we're going to look at the top 4 here. Right those. Ham, Don Gal, Jokas, and Matt LaRock. Here. Yeah, of course we got... is this in order? No. Why would it be in
No.
order?
No, I think you have to do ladder. Just click on the list column
Yeah.
next to their name.
Click on the list column next to their name.
Yeah, so
click
in
on-
the ladder, in the
Oh,
list
okay.
column, you
Okay.
click on the list next to their name. Yeah.
I got you here. So he was talking about Ji Yoon, a former podcaster for the Fly Better podcast, but Minok from back in the day. Ji Yoon's here. He got his classic chopper. Magviyaro, Saw, Gina, Luke, and Wedge. This is our boy Luke, and I assume the 5 point is BOE. It doesn't say, but I would assume that it's
Yeah.
with no
BOE Wedge
upgrades and 5 points.
Custom Gina.
And yeah,
Custom.
this
Yeah.
has the proton cannon plasma combination. Line somebody up in your bullseye, tag him with a plasma, and then follow up with that 4 dice proton cannon. A lot of modification in a very short amount of time. Same thing with Chopper. You have that threat of the converting all your eyeballs into crits from Saw Gerrera. Plus, if they shoot at you, you get free target lock. So it's just modifications and big attacks all around. Very smart list, and Ratho's been flying something similar, a 4-ship with a VCX for the last couple of seasons now. So he knows.
Yeah.
Called it, Dad X-Wing.
Dad X-Wing, yeah.
It's just all gas. It's pure offensive firepower.
Well,
So much
I mean,
hurt.
You still got to line up your engagements, right?
Oh,
so
for
not-
sure. Like
It's not just
VCX
put the
is a
ships- yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You're
I've seen the
you're
VCX
telling
burn
me
down
you-
and get that thing
you're
in the
telling me
wrong
the PCX
situations.
is an auto win.
Yeah. Okay. You see everybody else flying.
Uh,
Did very well though. Got into the top 4. I'm just burning through these so then we can talk more maybe about like the final two lists and how they match up against each other. But this is Ham Dangal, which is, I'm going to make it 3 syllables, I guess. Don't worry about me. They're flying the new Whisper. 5-point cloaking standard loadout Whisper with the TIE Advanced X1. That's SSP, I have to imagine, because it doesn't say Battle over Yavin. And then we have 3 bombers. Standard Deathfire, and then Major Rhymer and Tomex Bren, both with feedback ping and barrage rockets. Feedback ping works great because Deathfire launches those, or launches proton bombs forward after he moves. So really easy to trigger those feedback pings. I like this list a lot. It provides a jousty block plus 2 aces to kind of contend with the outsides, corral and do damage, things like that. So yeah, a nice little list.
Very interesting to see the feedback ping with Deathfire, like to help the barrage bombers to double mod very easily. But then the SL Whisper also can get locks from that, not just from Vader.
That's true. They just need a lock out to get their kind of shared lock thing, right?
Yep.
Just a lock on the board.
Well, it needs to friendly ship when it acquires a lock. If they're within like range 2 of Whisper can also acquire a lock on that ship as well.
Okay. But now you're not tethered to Vader. You can hang out with the bombers. You can hang out with Vader. You can fly somewhere in between.
Yeah, that's the nice thing, because usually when you bring Whisper, you want to bring Vader anyway. But I think not being completely tied to Vader is kind of nice, and also just those bombers are all each 3 points, and they're a lot easier to kill than Vader and Whisper. But at the same time, everyone wants to try and make sure they get 10 points of kills and not just 9, right? Getting over that half point, right? So sometimes this is one of those 2 aces plus stuff list where the stuff does not equal 10 or more, which makes winning the rest of the match a little more difficult if you don't have a way to pin down Whisper or Vader.
Right. Yeah, we're gonna see more and more Whisper, as I think people are learning how that ship can be successful in 2nd edition. Let's see. So Jolkas was one of our finalists. So let's look at, if I'm not mistaken, he was one of the finalists. I lost my bracket.
So we jump to Matt, I think.
Yeah, we'll take a look at Matt's list here. A Resistance Squad. What's up?
Real quick, I just want to clarify. I don't think Whisper's relay system works with feedback ping.
We do some reading.
Let's read our cards here. Let's pull up the old Yasby.
Whisper SL relay system. After a friend, it performs a lock action.
Yeah, feedback just says acquire a lock. So
I
hope he was not.
I hope he never did that wrong.
Yeah.
Enemy ship executes a maneuver from the range 1 of a friendly may acquire a lock. Yeah, the feedback ping is not performing a lock action. So never mind. It doesn't work that way.
It does not.
I hope they didn't do it that way.
Read your cards.
Read your cards.
He might have not did it that way, and it was still fine.
I mean, it's still a great combo with.
Sure.
Ryan,
I mean, Deathfire could still take lock actions if he was bold enough.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, yeah. He's going to shoot the 3-point bomber. Please.
Right. Yeah. The 2 attack dice 3-point bomber.
Yeah. Oh no.
He already launched both his bombs. Oh no.
Oh no.
Anyways, let's go on to Matt's list here then. We got a couple to burn through. So let's take a look here. This is Ray with engine upgrade, Fenn, Rose, Heroic, and Patience as the last 2-point upgrade there. And then we have Jaeger, Advanced Slam, targeting computer, Magpulse, nice little i5 Magpulse shooter. LO with R6D8, which I believe is the rerolls squad Predator droid.
Predator droid.
Squad Predator. Because it's not just your bullseye, it's anybody's bullseye.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same
yeah.
thing though. And then Nimi with Pattern Analyzer and BB-8 Astromech. Nimi is the I2. Is that correct?
Yeah, I2
Yeah,
broadside, but front
Yeah,
side.
Front side.
she shoots people higher initiative than her
Right.
with
Really
broadside.
good.
Yeah, the blank to
Alright.
focus. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I like it. I mean, I like that choice of BB-8 and Pattern Analyzer. Really keeps them loose. Really
Well,
lets
just
them.
BB, not BB-8.
Oh, sorry. Still, bear roll before
still
you
good.
down roll is very
Yeah,
very good.
absolutely.
Or just taking and you get a modifier when you talent roll as well. So you're getting 2 actions when you do red maneuvers there, or potential 2 actions. So I think that's pretty
I
cool.
too am a fan of BB Mechs on.
Yeah.
BB Mechs on T70s are awesome. I remember doing that a ton with Jess Pava until they took it away from me when they made her loadout smaller. But that's okay.
Yeah,
Nimi's
like-
cool. I think when you have Rey on the board, she's such a attention grabber that Nimi sometimes can just start throwing real big dice at I2, which cleans up a lot of ships.
Right. And you need that Pattern Analyzer so you can use that focus on offense while keeping it shot. I think it's very cool. Then also a BB-8 transport pod out there as well with the Chewbacca upgrade, so it can jam or take calculates your defense and still have some sort of offensive modifier. Very well done.
Yes.
Top of the day.
Yeah, still 2 points on that BB-8 and AMG points.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I was really confused because I was building Nimi and I was like, why not take BB-8? Like, oh, BB-8's flying a ship.
Yeah,
Never
BB-8
mind.
is
yeah, he's got his whole other ship with him.
Like, wait, I'm over here, guys. I'm flying. I'm not a mech. I'm a pilot.
Yeah.
I'm a pilot.
Behold my Wookiee and my crew.
I'm a pilot, guys. Look, see?
Oh, you know what? I'm not smart. Him, Da, Gao was the other finalist. So I guess we won't skip over Jokos then. I thought for some reason they would be on different sides of the bracket, but that's not how brackets work.
They probably were. Right, because Hamduggal was on the bottom half of the bracket for. Yeah, because what they'll do is they'll take both brackets and they'll mix them in their final rankings and then put them together.
Right. For some reason,
you could
I
definitely have a final from the same day.
Yeah, for some reason in my head, I didn't think that was going to be possible. That they would be the A person and the B person. That's not how events work. Literally looking at a bracket telling me that's not how it works. But so let's go on to Jokos.
Hamduggal and Jorge ended up going against each other in the
Jorge.
final.
Yeah, by the way,
Sonata.
Jorge, as in finalist from the previous Worlds, Jorge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just casually.
Also,
named
the finalist at the previous LVO.
Yeah, I was
went
like,
up against Doug Howe in the finals.
Oh, that's right.
It turns out
Jorge's still on a tear. Jeez.
Pretty good player. Very, very good player. And getting tournament results. You can define yourself as a very good player, but you get into as many top tables as Jorge? Probably no. So let's see what he had brought. Scum and Villainy, which is instantly very different from the clone fleets he had been flying for the last couple of years. This is Fen Rao, Fearless, Predator, Beskar Optics. Then Han Solo with Maul. This is the coordinating double crew Maul. Then we have Dirge with a proton cannon, Lima with her plasma torpedoes, and Bosk with expert handling and marksmanship. So those are your, for at least official GTs and stuff, we can reminisce over the 6-5-4-3-2 type of squad, putting in Fen Rao and Han Solo as their 6 and 5 pointers out there. The Han Solo is very interesting. I don't I don't know if it was Jorge. I probably would have lost much faster if it would have been, but I was playing against somebody who was using the same combination of uh, Han Solo coordinating out either Dirge, Lima, or Finn Rao, whoever needed that action the most, because Maul isn't like scaled by points in any or scaled by like what initiative you are. It's the same points if you're coordinated I1 versus I6. It's just a very expensive upgrade, so can't take it on very many ships. But yeah, using Han Solo as kind of a points fortress coordinator who, if need be, can just take a target lock and shoot a 4 or 5 dice attack at you.
Yeah, it's interesting because like he did get a points decrease. Remember, he used to be 6, now he's at 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he also had a very limited loadout, so it's like, what do you put on him? Force points always good, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then like just the added advantage of being like, I could coordinate I6. Like that's powerful, right?
Yeah.
Now it's just what scum pieces can you put together surrounding them to finish the job, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of things that you could do. Like it's anything from giving a Fen Rao a pre-position, like a pre-maneuver reposition. Like now
Like
Fen Rao,
even link it.
even link it and then do a blue, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dirge could get his false transponder code lock at I6 and jam someone at I6 with lock range only necessary. Lima
Mm-hmm.
Kai can lock at I6 now, getting the target Lima needs without needing to do that whole road I5 issue. Boss can barrel roll to get bullseyes with expert handling and marksmanship,
Mm-hmm.
to still have a focus. So there's a lot of things you can set up with that Han. So I don't know how Jorge played it, but in my head, I'd envision Han was definitely not the front line. Han was probably,
No.
you know, letting some of the other ships move into the fight first, and whether skirting the edge or behind them, coordinating the necessary actions. And also, like when Han has the flexibility of being a large base that can boost, means you have a lot of playability into assault, right? Or denying and blocking up areas for people to gain or get to objectives because you're a larger base. And then you're right, like for the one time you're like, I'm I6 and I'm just going to shoot really well, I'm going to lock you and maybe
Yeah.
I have an obstructed shot and you're
I'm
stressed
gonna-
and then here's
Yeah,
4 or 5 dice.
Turns out Han doesn't mind skirting on the outsides, getting obstructed shots through
Yeah.
obstacles. So
I mean, if you stretch yourself and he lands on the other side of an obstacle, now it doesn't have
Yeah.
trick shot, but
There's
can
four- there's still
get
4 dice.
4 dice and 5 at range 1. Yeah, so if you are distracted by something else, I mean, he could still come in swinging for
Yeah. I mean, even
for all
if he
the
spends
hoops
his
you have to
action
jump through.
on, yeah, even if he spends his action on that force, that purple coordinate, he's still throwing 4 dice if you're obstructed and stressed, or
Sure.
even like 3 dice obstructed.
And then I think with his lowered cost, it does relegate him to not needing to be like out there throwing 5 dice attacks every turn. If you're only 5 points, you can kind of spread out that value over more turns. It's kind of the same thing of like why everyone was hesitant about like very expensive like Boba Fett's and Kylo Ren's, things like that. It's the same thing of, especially now you're only bringing in 2 attack dice default on a large base 1 agility ship player. So many things that could go wrong. So bringing him down to 5 points, cutting his loadout.
Well, turns out all those negative things you're talking about can be minimized by really good play, which
Sure.
Jorge
Exactly.
does really well.
No, just the flexibility of coordinating Fenrir before or after he moves. Because anybody could just like throw an action, like here's a focus token, Fenrir, good luck. But like being able to see where Fenrir lands, see if he's blocked, and then be able to like boost him over the ship he blocked him, things like that. barrel roll off a ship that blocked him, so he still has the range one shot.
Oh,
Just
Predator Fearless shot.
Mm.
Wow. Yeah.
Yep. I blocked you. Han says, well, I'm not, well, or Fenn's like, I'm not going to stress focus. Han, you might give me an action? Neat, I'm not blocked. And now I'm shooting you range one. Oh,
that's what I
no.
was saying.
And-
Like, it's a very
and I'll
unique
link
thing.
that into a focus, so I don't even need
Mhm.
to take the pump focus. I'll take my own focus.
And I might
thanks.
have Mando optics you anyway, so it might be a fully modded
Yeah.
shot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
and that's
No,
it's very
that's like
interesting.
what is that, like a quadruple modded shot with the Fearless and Finn Rao extra die Predator. Yeah, gross.
Well, yeah.
It's getting up there.
That's Magic Dice levels right there.
Yeah,
why
the
Six is a
fearless,
pretty good trick.
the fearless magic die really skews the numbers
Yeah.
on that.
I mean, it really is. It's a high initiative list. The pieces are solid,
Oh, yeah.
right? You got Fenn at
6, 6,
I6,
5,
Han at I6, with Han's more situational when he can, help offensively, but his utility of that maul coordinate is huge to help set up the other I5s in Lima and Dirge. Whether it's to get Dirge that bullseye more consistently, whether it's to get Lima fully modded plasmas, or even get a lock when Lima normally wouldn't, because maybe Lima had to be the I5 to move first this turn. Han's like, well, I got you.
Right? No, it's
Yeah.
a good little trick.
I'm so excited. I really hope that Jorge continues to fly this into Worlds, because I just can't envision Han flying close enough to Finn to get those coordinates off when it matters and still staying out of trouble. You know what I mean?
Well,
But-
they'll be
Opponent
distracted by
theoretically
Finn
has to
Rao.
pick one,
Yeah, if you send
Yeah.
Finn
unless they
Rao
both
coming
set
in,
up in the same.
your Han's probably fine. Before we move on to the other day's list, we still got quite a few more lists. Just wanted to point out, I was looking at
Ooh,
who
Wow.
he lost to in Swiss, and Jorge lost to the other finalist. So Revenge
Yeah,
of Swiss
they're
coming in.
Oh.
There's a reason it's not even a theory anymore. It's been proven time and time again. Revenge of the Swiss. If you lose to somebody and you see that they made the cut as well,
just
you
prepare.
gotta be thinking about that game more than they are. So,
Yeah, because they've seen your tricks.
yep. If you beat them, they know. They know. That was chance engagement. Interesting. I could see that. The Hounds just got nothing to do, right? And just if the Bombers get a good engagement, not a lot for Finn to do, right? Finn's got to fight.
They played Assault at the last one.
I was just going to look it up. Thank you. So they played Assault. A lot more advantageous for that large base
Yeah, for sure.
in Han. So very cool. Quick switch over then to the other day, as we still got a couple of tournaments I want to talk about. And this is really for anybody, if you made it this far, thank you. But and listening. But it's more than what happened here. Oh, I'm on the wrong day. This isn't just us reading lists because we wanted to just like congratulate the person or whatever, but we are like locking these in as what do I want to say? As we begin our world's preparation, what's been developing, what's been changing. These are the kind of things that we're looking at in our research of what's not only popular but what's performing well. In addition to that. So let's start with here Dwight from Lock and Roll. Big shout out to Lock and Roll if you're not following them on social medias and whatnots. Definitely check it out. Dwight's been doing a great job. Just keeping X-Wing going strong. I believe from
Cool.
Canada, if
I'll
I'm
have
not
to see.
mistaken. I forget which state now.
Did you
or
see
province.
Nick Sperry as our fifth player there?
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, Nick. So close. Here's the best 3-1-1 of the day. Oh, did they tie? Did him and Maurice tie in the last round? We're getting real off topic here. No, they tied in round 4. Ugh. That's hard. And Nick pulled
Yeah.
out the win. Big shout out to Nick. If you're not following 312 Squadron as well,
Well,
you should
they're
be.
doing lots of events online as well. Leading into
Yeah,
Worlds.
definitely recommend. So that's heartbreaking. That that Nick was basically out.
Round 4 on.
Yeah. After he beat after he lost to Bracte, he basically was out. He couldn't. Well, and I guess it was the draw. After that draw, he can't even get in. That's unfortunate. But let's take a look at what Adroit was flying. Last time I saw him, he was flying Separatist, and we see it here as well. General Grievous with Outmaneuver, Impervium, and Solus 1, Dirge, Proton Cannon, and Proton Bombs. We got Sunfac with Predator, Ensnare, Marksmanship, and Targeting Computer. So known Graviton rerolls there. Or Gravitic. I think it's Gravitic. Reflection. None of that. All offense with those upgrades. And then we have 2 droids. These are the 3-point named HMPs, the single pipped 047 with Diamond Boron and Django. Then 286 with cluster, missiles, and Kalani. So brings very few droids, but still sneaks in that lock-based relay. I like this squad quite a bit.
You don't need droids with Kalani. That's the more flexible one. So
no, if someone leans in your bullseye, you get a lock.
I also love Django on HMPs because they can't spin the lock. So being able to spin the lock on your opponent's defense roll is super handy.
Well, you get it modified twice then. Is that you get to use it for your own reroll, like a fire control system, and then you get to spend it like a juke. Nice little combo between the two then.
It's a focus to blink, so.
Well, yeah, it's Django's ability. Almost better than juke in some situations.
Yeah.
Or similar. It's still almost crack shot, right? Almost crack shot.
Almost crack shot. Almost. But
almost
so
crack shot.
that Django is super helpful on these HMPs, but especially because Diamond Boron requires the lock to even shoot it, so you're getting the extra die from Diamond Boron. You're getting
at least one reroll,
and then the juke effect. So very cool. Very nasty little ship that also gets its own lock back.
Yes. I forget which one's the I1 and which one's the I3. Between the two, I forget. 047 is the I1. Okay.
That's the one that gets its lock back, and then 286 is the Steal Calculate.
Yeah. So they're a nice little team, nice little buddy system out there. Very cool. We see the named, what I would consider, the most famous pilots out of that faction: Grievous, Dirge, and Sunfac. And still brings some HMPs. I've been loving HMPs in the last couple leagues I've been in.
At 3 points, and you're still able to bring some kind of munition. It's hard not to bring it, in my opinion.
Right. Yeah, it's no synced laser, but still, it's something. And honestly, as someone who's been bringing synced lasers, I don't always shoot the synced laser. A lot of side arc shots, a lot of ranged ones.
Yeah, that at 90 degrees in the sides, very helpful.
Kind of why when I build HMPs, like I don't like doing the lock based offense, and kind of leaving it to Kalani to do that because I like the utility of having bombs on these HMPs. So I always like do energy shell charges, so I don't need to worry about initiative and getting locks on stuff, whether it's bulls. I think the only time I've liked doing a lock-based munition is on 047 when he has cluster missiles, because a lot of times when he's doing his like base 180 attack, if there's just someone in his front arc, he'll just get a lock. So next turn when he side slips around them, they're probably in his cluster missile range at that point. But solid. I like Diamond Boron missiles. They do extra damage sometimes.
Yeah, a little splash damage. That's fun. It's kind of like a 4 dice attack. You just roll the 4th dice some other point in
Yeah,
time.
it's like a kind of more it's a plasma missile or plasma torpedo ish, right?
Yeah,
It's like
it's
a
on the power
3
level
that
of
can be a
plasma.
4.
Yeah, I like that.
It doesn't
But
require a
if
shield, but it's random.
But you
See if
still
it's a
need to hit
chance.
too.
Yeah.
wow,
Yeah.
very cool. Let's go back to whatever gets me to the next list. This is from RSBW. Not familiar with that moniker. But they did a fantastic job here. Third overall on day 2 with a Heratani type squad. No Hera in it at all.
Yeah, no Hera.
Ahsoka Tani. As in
S-
Ahsoka is now my coordinator. Been better ship than Hera
Ahsoka
probably now.
Tani. I like that.
Ahsoka Tanoi.
Donald.
Have fun with it.
We're really missing the origin of that one. But let's take a look at it.
Like
Really gone off
5
from
times.
the origin.
Yeah.
Anyways,
No one can even recognize what it originally was.
No, we got Sabine now with no loadout. You don't get Beskar anymore, Sabine, but you get to stay 2 points. We got Boudica, Predator, Beskar, Marksmanship. Boudica's that if you shoot my friends, I'm going to get a bonus attack on you. Fang Fighter. Fen Rao with Predator, Beskar, Optics in his own Fang Fighter. And then we have Ahsoka, Patience, Compassion, Mag Pulse, and then Wedge, which I assume is BOE, because it doesn't have any upgrades and it's 5 points. This is very similar to what I was seeing with Hera. This, though, combination with Fen Rao in there, all of the other ships, well, except for Sabine, they all have linked actions. They got that linked boost, or in the case of Boudica and Wedge, they have linked bear rolls. And Fen Rao, with this pilot ability, can help them shred those red tokens when they engage. Very cool to see the BOE Wedge boost to get a deplete. And then Fen Rao can actually take that deplete off of him before he fires his advanced proton torpedo. So very cool there. Ahsoka did go down in points officially.
She
Or
was
official
5,
points.
it's now 4.
Interesting. That's why we're getting the switch there, because they're now very similar priced between her and Hera.
Yep.
Ah,
I'm
awesome.
a big fan of Ahsoka at 4 points. Actually, I think this structure of Rebel list is something I'm personally probably going to test a lot prior to Worlds. Whether it's, pick 2 of 3, Wedge, Luke, Fen, like pick your 5-pointers.
Yeah.
Have Ahsoka, and then either do Boudica and Sabine, or pick 2 3s, as in like Keo plus a 3. I don't know which, but it's a solid. And actually, I think you can go further than that, because I think Paul Kiefer at PAX Unplugged ran all of the 5s, Luke, Wedge, and Fen, and then just went with Keo and Sabine and did not have a 4-2 or a 3-3. It was a 3-2, and then all of his three big ships were all 5s. So that's even another version too.
Okay. Interesting. So yeah, no 4-pointers in his. A lot to work with in Rebels. I know they've been. I think they've been having the most like fluctuation of just like, oh, we got nothing, or we got nothing. Oh, we got Bistan Han. Oh, we don't have that anymore. Oh, we got Rebels B-wings. Oh, we don't have that anymore. It keeps going up and down. The most out of any of the factions. So it's good to see that the old named characters are still putting work out there for the table. If you want to, let my dog out of this room. If you could read Brack Daddy's list for me, a First Order squad. I didn't say who, just one of you, please.
I got it, I guess. I got Kylo Ren in the Taya Whisper, with an enhanced jamming suite, of course. Advanced optics, concussion missiles, instinctive aim, and brilliant evasion. So leaning into the classic instinctive aim concussion missile, and have a couple of force for focuses, and then the optics for blinks. So leaning into those concussion missiles for damage. I have Blackout in the Silencer with sensitive controls, plasma torpedoes, sensor scramblers, and trick shot. So I love the sensitive controls choice there. I love Blackout, sensitive controls, and that trick shot. So leaning into those obstructed attacks. Malorus with cluster missiles. Midnight with targeting, synchronizer, fanatical, and proud tradition. I don't think we have. Oh, yeah. I guess we do have quite a few munitions out here for that targeting synchronizer. So, pretty good combos there.
Everyone brought one.
Fanatic. Except for Gideon, of course.
Everyone that could, but yes.
Everyone that could, yeah. So Fanatical and Proud Tradition still giving a little bit of punch for Midnight as well. Gideon, Hask, and the Zai shuttle has TAC Officer, Pattern Analyzer, Biohexacrypt Codes, Elusive, and Proud Tradition. Love that Pattern Proud shuttles. Still able to get the coordinate and focus off. Very, very nasty on a stop.
Yeah, very good. Breck Daddy, who now I very much apologize. It's Email's dad. Who now I can only think of him as Brack now, so I don't know what. But anyways, he's been flying something similar to this since last Worlds. Remember, he was on our stream at least once, flying that Gideon Hask shuttle.
I do love it. The stop Pattern Proud is to coordinate and then still get a focus is like there's nothing you can do about it. Like you can't even like block him.
Nope.
Yep. He's just gonna do it.
If there's danger, hit the stop button.
Yeah.
It sounds like a stop, drop, and roll. You're right. They just stop.
Yeah.
Stop. Pattern. Proud. Stop, drop, roll.
Yeah. Yeah, and then he even gets Elusive back to use on defense. So it's even
nice little combination there. And that's what you want out of your support ship, right? There's many tools available, and hopefully not hinder yourself as much.
Yeah. Also, that Blackout with sensor scramblers still actives can be anywhere. It's so insane. I remember doing that with Kylo a long time ago, before all of the official rules for 2.5 were out. Sensitive control, sensor scrambler, silencers are insane. Like decloak, boost, decloak, barrel, boost or barrel, then decloak, and then do your anywhere all the straights are blue or all the twos are blue. Figure it out from there. It's nuts.
Yeah, decloak sideways, boost. Yeah, decloak left, boost left, 5 forward, barrel roll. Like, I'm on the other side of the map.
Pick me up, put me down, wherever.
Yeah, but also decloak out, barrel roll, hard 1. Or I guess you'd have to hard 2. But still.
The ultimate candy cane.
Yeah.
Decloak out, out. Boost in, 2 turn in. You're just like pointed 45 degrees behind where you were.
Right. Yeah, now that you only get 1 decloak, but make it count. Make it count.
Like, be unpredictable at the start.
Right. Very cool. Very cool. Who didn't we look at then? This is Seth. Seth had brought a Rebel Alliance squad here. Usual suspects. We got BOE Wedge, Boy, Luke, Ahsoka, Tano with concussion missiles and patience, Sabine Wren, and Seth also takes Bodica and the Fang Fighter with Crackshot and Beskar. So a variation of the list we were looking at before. That includes that 2 5-pointers, 2 4-pointers, and Sabine. Also working in conjunction there. But Seth wouldn't. Did they just? I assume they just. Yeah. Undefeated. 4-0. and
So-
to draw into the cut. That's
Am,
bragging rights.
am I crazy? Am I the crazy one that, like, my first, pun intended, instinct for Ahsoka was instinctive aim and concussion missile. Yet, all the GTs recently I've seen do patience and concussion missile, and I'm
Mm.
like really confused
Because
why
because
nobody
patience.
is doing instinctive aim. And I get it, like everyone's like, oh, I'm gonna run out of force if I don't have patience. I want to keep coordinating. Like, sure, but like I like not requiring a lock from my offense at all.
Yeah,
I don't
but
know.
I don't know. I
without
defensively,
the optics,
I think it's so
yeah.
much better.
Yeah, without the optics as well to cover the blanks, and being able to use the Ahsoka ability more than like once per game, I like the patience and like Will said, like the defensiveness of being able to get a force back when you need it.
I will say I like patience more in a list with Fen Rao,
Exactly.
if that makes sense
Now
too.
you're seeing it.
Yeah,
This
one
one
doesn't.
doesn't.
This one doesn't.
Yeah.
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 Yes.
Swaps out Finn Rao for Luke.
Mm-hmm. Very fair. I mean, very, very good. Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of variations of Ahsoka's loadout. People wanting mag pulse, people wanting patience for more coordinating. Nobody's running turrets though. Everybody obsessed with that target lock boost. I love a good turret. On these A-Wings. Very, very good. But, I mean, I get it. You don't get the double reposition. Again, I think it's just what you're used to. If you're used to barrel boosting rather than just taking the patience to get a modifier that way. Could be good. But that was the list there, the top 8 of the Las Vegas Open. Big congratulations out to, if I can find the finalists again. Big congratulations out to Ham, Dongal, and Jorge Castaneda getting into it. And of course, Jorge for taking it all. Amazing players out there. And hopefully we'll see some more action in the next year. Want to go back out to the old Rio. It's not on the strip. It's a little bit off of the strip. I don't know. It's just a great time. I've having a great time. I was really sad that we couldn't end up going this year. Let's keep it moving though, as we're now looking at the time. But we'll move on to the Nottingham Grand Tournament. This is run by Chris Mitchell, and of course, Nottingham. And let's see, I didn't look at what their bracket was. They did a top 8 as well. Okay. So let's take a look here. Just a quick overview. We got a couple lists in here. Then they did it all one day. Perfect. So I'm going to blast you.
Did you want to do top 4 or do you want to do top 8?
I could just run through them real quick. We don't need to discuss them, but I do want to call them out here for just kind of like data purposes. This is Sean W. in our ace spot. I got in with a Rear Admiral Chernow, Soontir fell Scythe 6. That's short shot, I'm pretty sure is his nickname. Instead of long shot, he's short shot. That's Scythe 6.
Yeah,
he gets extra
that's
dice.
6.
He rolls a 4 dice range one. That's all I know about him. And he's got Pattern Analyzer. We got Lieutenant Levere and the Obsidian, a 2-point Obsidian Squadron pilot. So 2 interceptors, 2 TIE fighters, and a decimator. Gets in. We still have that Darth Vader, but no Death Troopers. Takes Minister Tua instead.
It no longer can fit. I mean, you can fit Vader and Death Troopers, but then that's like it. But Tua's
interesting.
Helping the defense a little further. Agile Gunner's still there. I mean, the suite of Ruthless, Vader, Agile Gunner, Baffle was so good. And it's like, what can we put back in it? And the answer is, at least in this one, Tua.
I like
Maybe
Tua.
something else. I don't know what else like fits as an option, but that's one.
It is kind of silly to get into this baffle Tua loop. I don't know if you've ever come across this where you baffle off your stress so you can do a white maneuver, but then at the start of the combat you just get the stress and reinforce right back. So it's still giving you a defensive and offensive modifier. It's a little weird, but you end up hurting yourself if you get into that kind of loop. But yeah, the Brad Multurno still pulling out quite a few wins here. Gets Sean into the top 8. Next up here is a First Order squad. You guys taught me to click on the right spot. Then Marcus Wilson brings Quick Draw with anything fancy here. No, Proud, Baffle, Fire Control. Malorus with Cluster, Gaelic with a heavy laser cannon and Proud, Scorch in the FO Fighter has Advanced Optics, DT with Advanced Optics, and Dread with Cluster Missiles, Skilled Bombardier, and Bomblet Generator. Oh, so this is a 5-3-3-3-3 squad here. So 6 ships, most of them are cheap. But the leading ship is Quick Draw of all ships.
Lots of potential double attacks too. We got Malice with Cluster, Dread with Cluster, Quick Draw's ability, like max amount of shots per turn, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9.
There's a lot of attack power, surprisingly, in here. Yeah, between the Advanced Optics, Scorch and DT can get 3-dice guns. So, yeah, they're red dice and modifications. Off the charts, actually. I mean, I'm a big fan of the 6-ship lists like this. I ran a hollow version of it. I still think it's got some legs. With the reduced loadout of some of these ships. So cool to see it show back up as our First Order list in the cut. We got a wide variety here in the cut. That's kind of why I want to hit them all. See just kind of what overall the meta is. Feel free to stop me. As I'm burning. But I'm basically just burning through the lower seeds here. This is Ben Phoenix. Thank you, Ben, for putting in your name into the old roll better. See how this differs from the American Rebel squads. This one has Luke Boudica, but this now has Hull in the Y-Wing, Wedge in the A-Wing, Keo, and Sabine. So this one's also trying to get more numbers out on the squad. Doesn't bring any Ahsoka, no Fenn Rau, no Wedge X-Wing either. So this might be the outlier here, bringing more of the A-Wings, if you will, to get some numbers out on this squad. It's a very kind of similar thought process to Marcus there. Another top 8 here is from Ash T. They're bringing a Scum and Villainy faction, the Scum and Villainy faction, not just one of them. Han Solo, so another 5-point Han Solo in our statistics there. This one has Trickshot Kira, Veteran Turret Gunner. Gets a big thumbs up approval from me. I've been putting Veteran Turret Gunner on my Han Solos. And I think you have to have. As cool as Maul is, man, it's just easier to land on the rock to get a trick shot attack. But anyways, Fenn Rau, Old Tirok, and Cad Sullus. 3 Fang Fighters and a Falcon. Get in here. Ash, you got nerves of steel, my friend, to be bringing this kind of squad, and gets back-to-back wins. And in Swiss at 4-1. Very good job.
I was going to say, to note, Ash was the top in Swiss. Ended 4-0.
Yeah, he lost in his single elimination. Undefeated. With 3 Fangs and a Falcon. Take note, everybody. Take notes. Very cool to see. Let's see. Moving on to Oscar here has brought we're moving on to the top 4 list then. Has brought the Galactic Empire, Rear Admiral Chernow, this one with Emperor Palpatine, Hotshot, and an ISB Slicer. That's can hold jams. We have Major Vermeil, a 5-point Reaper out there with Darth Vader. I was like, there it is. I was like, if Darth Vader's not in a pilot and he's not in the Decimator, where is he in this squad? And he's on Major Vermeil out there. Very scary for Vermeil's ability to guarantee a dice. He's got that kind of a magic dice ability if you don't have any tokens, which you probably won't be because of Hotshot Gunner or Darth Vader. One of the two is going to take your green token away. Looks like we have standard loadout Rhymer and Merrick Steel with Magpulse Missile and Fire Control System to finish the list here. That's actually pretty scary. A lot of health, a lot of debuffs.
That standard loadout Rhymer is not common, really. I mean,
I don't even know
people
what's
may
on it.
not remember.
Is that the boost advanced proton one?
It's got the advanced proton torpedoes. It's got afterburners.
Mm-hmm.
As automated loader, after you perform a primary attack, you may spend a charge to perform a reload action. So if you're not shooting your big advanced proton torpedo, but you want to reload and still shoot, you could shoot, then reload once. And then Major Rhymer's ability, while you perform a torpedo attack, aka your advanced proton torpedo, if the defenders in your bullseye, change one eyeball to a crit result. So you have you basically have a proton cannon, as long as you have a lock at range 1.
Yeah, he's got a bullseye force point or whatever.
Yeah.
That's scary. 4 forward, boost, barrel lock, finds you range 1 bullseye. He's going to sneak up on you. I never ended up playing. I love Major Rhymer. I didn't end up playing the standard loadout just because there was cheaper bombers. But it's very scary. I love the afterburners on it.
Yeah, it's hard to find a worthwhile 4-point bomber outside of like Scimitar 1, maybe, in like the
Torps.
Goron list.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got proton torpedoes, so. But, I mean, if you might need that boost to be keeping up with Major Vermeil in that large base decimator. So amazing to see. A Vermeil that was not on my bingo card, let me tell you. We'll go on to Louis' list here. Got into the 3 spot. Louis, amazing person for the X-Wing community. He has brought a Rebel squad here. Keo with the vectored cannons, cluster missiles on the Wolf. Nice little piece there. Boy, Luke, BOE, Wedge, and then Han Solo with the Millennium Falcon, overtuned modulators, Bistan, and Bo-Katan Kryze. Now, if I remember right, Bo-Katan in Rebels, if you destroy a ship, you get to remove all orange token, or each ship in range of the destroyed ship gets to remove a red or orange token. Am I mistaken on
friendly at range 0 to 2 of you may remove 1 red or orange.
Okay. That's
so
pretty cool.
Very similar effect and like range to like who is that? Fenn Rau crew.
Mm-hmm.
But it happens when Han Solo destroys a ship.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, you got some flexibility with Bistan and Wedge out there to maybe be a little bit more proactive in getting that Bo-Katan to trigger. I've built a lot of lists where I was trying to get Koran E-Wing to pull off his weapons disabled with Bo-Katan. I thought that would be a fun trick, but
there's not a lot of cards that reference orange tokens at all.
No, most of the time by the time you have one, it's probably too late. You kind of need a way to like prevent orange tokens. So, and most of the time it's like jam, which is gonna go away like right away. Tractor, like again, probably too late by the time your tractor done throwing around. So, Louis, pretty cool list. We see that Bistan Han Solo rear its head around the corner. See if he's invited to the to the pickup game yet. In this instance, he was. Then we get to our finalist, which I assume how this bracket works. Yes.
Here you go. Will, I found it.
What?
You have to use the GR75 transport to pull off the orange token.
I'll work on that. When it's legal, you don't be hitting the table.
Yeah.
All right, let's go
Just
on
corn
to
and one transport. There you go.
yeah. That's all I need. Our finalist here, Sam Webb. As a note that third round was assault at the satellite array, so we'll kind of keep that in mind here so we can analyze these two lists for the finals. Sam here had brought a resistance squad. We have Jaeger in the fireball, of course, with advanced slam and bucket, so no munitions. Just slamming around, getting some extra health back and stuff. As bucket, that's R1, J5, kind of fixes your fireball. Then let's see, we got Elo, of course. It's a resistance squad. He's got BB-8 Astromech. He did get that loadout reduced recently, so basically only gets one upgrade these days. We have Vanessa Doza, going to be able to shoot her barrage rockets, range 1 to 2 out to your rear arc. Very cool. Shaza with ion cannon and angled deflectors. Shaza, if you shoot at her, she can copy your token and throw it to a friendly in her rear half. So with angled deflectors, probably the only actual use of angled deflectors where I'm not like, are you doing it for the memes? This actually is very interesting because you can throw it to. What's up?
I say to note, this isn't wartime, Shaza.
Yeah,
so she maintains the intuitive interface after
Correct.
you perform an action added to your action bar by a talent, elicit, or modification, which is angle deflectors. You may perform calculate. So she's actually reinforced calculating.
Yeah.
Right. So she has the option to pass either of those green tokens when it comes to it.
Copy. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Copy,
which is
not pass.
Yeah, not pass. Create a new one and give it to somebody. Which is very funny for like a 6 health, 1 agility ship to be flying around to be like, hey, everybody shoot me. Can anybody shoot me? And everyone's like, no. No, we're not going to shoot you, 6 health, 1 agility ship. No, thank you. Literally anybody else. So I just
like,
think that's
fine,
funny.
I'll just ionize you.
Fine, I guess I'll shoot my ion cannon then. It's just a very funny ship, yeah.
Yeah, that is pretty funny that he just runs around going,
shoot me! Somebody shoot me!
Reinforced calc. That's
Yeah,
pretty
reinforced
funny.
calc. That's all you need. Turret to the side. Start hang out near Chewbacca. Follow him around. See where he goes.
You need to lead him around, which is kind of weird. But
Well, you only need to be in the rear arc, so you just need to be side by side.
that is a big arc, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, when you count your back half is the mirror in the background or my window. Your back half, but then like any ship could be here. You know what I mean? So Draka could be technically in front of you, but as long as he's somewhere in flanking you,
He could literally be in your front arc.
he could. I'm saying he could literally be in front of you, but a part of him, as long as a part of him is technically behind you, it works. So. Pretty easy to trigger. Shot's ability just doesn't trigger because nobody shoots at her. There's
the best
normally
kind of ability.
something else.
There's anti.
Aggro.
What was that pilot? What was that pilot that made you shoot them?
Biggs, anti-Biggs.
It's anti-Biggs. Yeah. It's like don't shoot me.
Yeah, it's very funny. So I love to see that. Like I said, because it works both ways. If you're I don't want to say that in that way. If you don't see the combo, it works. But if you do see the combo, it works because you're just never going to shoot the ship getting objective points and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's also reinforced and calculated. So
Right, I said 1 agility and 6 health, which is only true if, they're not reinforcing.
yeah,
So, we'll go on to SCX Thomas Vale. I hope I got that right. Big congratulations to them. Went 4-1 in Swiss. Actually, 3-1-0. Drew the last round of Swiss. Then proceeds to cut through the elimination rounds. Thomas has brought a Cis Tank Special, as he calls it. This is a Separatist Alliance squad, and you know it's going to have Fenrir. You know it's going to have Sunfac. This one has Marksmanship, Treacherous, Ensnare, and Targeting Computer. Gotta have that Ensnare. Treacherous. Hide behind some ships. Make them shoot through their friends. Bunch of cool stuff.
Actually, like Treacherous a lot on Sunfac.
If you know how to see the possibility of the Treacherous, very good. Let's see who else we got here. We got Dirge with the Proton Cannon and Fused Concussion Bombs. Interesting. We have Volan Das. This is the Organic Tri-Fighter. Amazing ability. When they do a red maneuver, they can give that stress away. I believe for a strain, if I'm not mistaken. Do you strain yourself? Or do you
it's just straight up.
Give it away?
You just do the thing. Yeah. You
just have to land range 1. You have to fully execute red maneuver. Range 1.
You give them a strain and remove your
strain.
Oh, that's what it is. That's right. Yeah, you shouldn't be giving stress to people before they've moved.
Yeah.
We don't really do that anymore. We don't do that here.
4 Loms in the corner are very angry.
Yeah. Well, he's the in phase, so that's fine. But like any activation or system phases, we can't be handing out stress. So, but yeah, Volan Das, I love that ability though. With the big 5K on that Tri-Fighter, he's got elusive and shield upgrade.
Or 1 talent roll.
And the 1 talent. Yeah, the 1 talent.
Yep.
Yeah, so good.
You're tight.
If you very tight. If you roll and go first against like a bunch of other I5s, like you pretty much know exactly where you're gonna be and they're gonna be. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So, very good.
Very cool.
Giving them a strain means that if they are trying to turn around as well, they're not clearing that strain.
Yeah.
And they could be strained, and then they get a track to be from Sunfac, and they get outmaneuvered by Grievous, and suddenly Grievous is shooting someone with 0 agility now, no matter what they were before.
Yeah, it can be pretty nasty.
I'm struck at range 3, and I'm rolling 1 defense die. Like, this doesn't make any sense.
Leave me alone.
Yeah, very, very cool. I'm scared of flying them, but with the shield upgrade, not so bad.
Let me ask you this.
He's like Soontir. It's like he lives on the edge kind of thing.
Rather have a shield upgrade and elusive, or would you rather re-roll all the dice at the cost of
I'd rather be I5.
Or strain.
Yeah. I'd rather be I5. I'm going to be honest with you.
Whatever you're saying about all that, yeah.
A funny re-roll, man.
I know where you're getting, but I think I'd rather be I5. It's just helpful, I guess. I don't know.
Sure.
Someone who's not I5. Oh, sorry.
Well, I was just saying it's. I know people go back and forth on Volan Das versus T81. It normally comes down to initiative for people.
Yeah, that's all.
I mean, T81 objectively has the better ability, but
it also has outmaneuver and afterburners. Forgot about that too.
All of the things. Yeah, this one just has like
4 points in official.
Yeah.
Was it 5 points? Is that what I'm thinking?
It was 5 when it came out. Yes.
That's what I'm thinking about. Yeah.
And then it was, and then it was 4, and we were happier.
You also get the focus with Volan, so there's a lot of like
Versus the
back and
calc,
forth.
yeah. I mean, for me, the default on T81 was always have an evade unless you know you're not going to be shot, and then you can take a calc.
Right.
Yeah. Go
Interesting.
crazy. Take a. Oh, you don't even need the lock. Yeah, count.
No, I don't need a lock. Never need a lock. All right, let's see who else is in this list. You mentioned an outmaneuver Grievous, of course, Impervium Solus 1. More or less a standard loadout these days because it's so good. Then we have...
Points just make it so easy, so hard not to do that, right?
Yeah, they would give you 1 point less if they didn't want you to take out maneuver. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's one last vulture here. This is 081. 2-point named vulture. Independent energy shells and grappling struts. We see here Thomas has brought the large obstacles to make sure he can jump his little droid onto at least one of them early on. And they battled... What did I say they were playing Assault. So that's a big advantage for the little vulture. As long as you just secure one objective on your sign, you just put a little obstacle by it, and now they have to fly all the way across the board to knock out your vulture, your 2-point ship.
Yeah, but Sam has the Falcon too, so maybe double scoring for some of those.
True.
So
true.
Wait,
did we ever read? I think I got distracted with Shaza. All right, I ever finished his list.
Oh yeah, you didn't. Yeah, it was Chewbacca with Perceptive.
I read it in my head, but I don't think I ever said it out loud. Yeah, it was Rey, Perceptive, Chewbacca. What else do you need?
I feel like there's like 6 points missing from that list.
Yeah, we got time to talk about Shaza. I love to see a good angled deflector Shaza out there. But yeah, very interesting to see quite the faction spread here out of the Nottingham GT. Separatists, Resistance, Rebels, Empire, Scum, and First Order. Who are we missing out of those then? Who are we missing?
I think that's all of them.
I'm only holding
No,
up
we
6
got to be
fingers.
missing one.
Yeah, it's Republic.
We're missing Republic.
There's no clones in here. We don't get clones until we go down to 15th. And they're not even clones, they're Jedi.
Wow,
yeah,
not
there's one
clones.
clone in that list.
Bad.
Yeah.
Clones.
And that's the only Republic list in the event.
Correct. Not big fans of it.
People dropping Republic like a bad habit with the nerfed oddball.
Yeah, they heard oddball wasn't great, and they're raining in shit.
They're like, I don't know what to do. I'll go play something else.
Yeah, even Jorge Castaneda jumped ship, so you know it's a bad time.
Well,
I
don't think it's bad.
think Jorge.
By any
I think I
means.
recall Jorge mentioning he likes playing Scum a lot more. He just knew what what would be more competitive at the time when he ran Republic. So
yeah, and also
I
he'd been
think-
practicing Republic for such a long time.
Oh yeah.
If he doesn't know
hold
his
my
Republic
clones.
squad by now, we can't help him. You know.
Republic
All right, let's get
squads were 100% clones.
pretty much. And Padme, Anakin.
I don't think he ever ran the Padme Anakin version.
No,
always
he
ran
didn't.
six
But I'm just
clones.
saying, some other ones did. Yeah, he was very much.
Sure.
He was very much clone centric. Let me see where I can get a shot of this last Longshanks. We got one more tournament here. Very exciting times in the month of January. A lot of grand tournaments here. This is grounds from yet another country. This is Canada from Torchlight Games in Ontario. Let's see here. I had quite a few players. Oh, you're making me do the Longshanks here. I'm unfamiliar. Let me see. It looks like it was a 5-round event. That's what I was checking. See
Yeah,
if
I
there's
think
a
it's just
top
5
10.
round of Swiss. I don't think they did anything
Yep.
beyond that.
See, 5 rounds, 20 points, single day event. Awesome. So we're going to start at the top here. I see a launch bay next list. So if someone could read that to me.
No.
Oh. Let me know.
Yeah,
This is.
I
I
got
Uh,
you. It's Darth Vader. This is starter
Hold
pack
on.
Vader.
Whose list is this?
You said it started at the top, right? This
Yeah,
is
what's his
the
name?
Tharkad.
All right.
Tharkad. With starter pack Vader, uh, Colonel Jindin from Battle over Endor, Vizier with Tech Officer, Sienna Ree, and Ablative Plating, and Scythe 6 Short Shot. So the only customizable ship in there is Vizier, and they had, once again, Tech Officer Sienna Ree, which is a pretty spicy upgrade. I don't know if you guys even
Yep.
know what that
Barrel
does.
roll. Barrel roll, and then turn 90
turned
degrees
90 degrees.
if
Yeah.
you're
Yeah, so
coordinating.
after
For a
yeah,
stress.
yeah, after you perform a coordinate, if the ship you coordinated performed a roll or boost action, it may gain 1 stress token to rotate 90 degrees. So as a barrel roll or boost, they can rotate if you coordinated them to do so. So that's pretty crazy being
Um,
able to give.
on a ship
Uh,
who coordinates, you can coordinate every round, no problem.
I mean, the big thing with wait, let me read something. But overall, scenery was always something to look at. Like you were playing a defender because the white 4K, right? When you get to turn that 4K and go a different direction, that was always going to be like a big deal.
Yeah,
But it's
especially if you can
basically a
like
very
boost,
similar list to
rotate.
what Duncan played in multiple GTs this season, which was Jendon, Vader, Scythe 6, and then he prefers
Fair
Fair
off.
Off. And I kind of do too.
yeah,
So much
Vizier's a
harder
little
to
bit
kill.
weird because he also brought Attack Officer as well. So really just
Don't
leaning into
don't ailerons.
uh,
Or when you don't ailerons, because normally you would get a free coordinate when you
yeah, if you,
ailerons.
yeah, yeah, and then you skip your perform action. But
Right.
if you can't ailerons or you want to go slower, you can just move and Attack Officer.
Yep. Doing the same
Okay.
thing
I
with
was
Fair off is doing, but
I was reading to make sure that when you use Sienna Ree after doing a barrel roller boost with Jendon, that you could not replace the stress token with the strain token with this push the limit. And he can't.
why
Making
not?
sure. But
Where's
push
the
limit asks you
afters?
to fully execute a red or perform a red action, even though Sienna Ree says, even though you would end
Yes.
up with a stress token, you're not
Mm,
performing a red action, you're performing a barrel or boost and gaining a stress if you rotate 90.
there it
Yeah,
is.
that's sort of like a red action, right?
It's kind of like a red
Not
barrel,
not enough
but
to push
not.
the limit to make it a strain instead.
All right, well that's good to know.
Awesome, yeah. So,
Uh,
very great job. I pronounce it again. I'm getting tired. How'd you pronounce it?
uh, Tharkad.
Tharkad. Pulls it off. Goes undefeated, 5-0 over the event, taking down some real big names out there. Angie Pineapple, Kim Murray. So let's
Yeah.
see.
Next up we have Barry B with a rebel list. Lots of rebel lists here.
Yeah, it was
Um,
Empire at the top, and then 5 rebel lists, and then a separatist list and a resistance list. That was your top 8 like factions.
Yeah, we're probably just at the top 4 here. Let's see
yeah,
what the difference is in these 3 rebel squads.
So for Barry, it was Braylon, Battle of Endor, Gina, Battle of Endor, Wedge, Battle of Endor, Hull Okand, Battle of Yavin in that Y Wing, and Sabine Wren, the TIE Fighter.
Yeah,
So,
basically took the squad that was theoretically nerfed by having Braylon go up to 5 was 4, and originally what it had Keo and
Gemmer.
another another 3-pointer at the time. Um, Now it needed to be Sabine in the TIE Fighter because 4-point Braylon is a 5-point Braylon.
So pretty solid list as well. Two B-wing, two B-wing, X-wing, Y-wing, and TIE fighter.
I would.
And
If you are flying B wings, you're kind of forced into something similar with this. I guess you could go 4-4-2 and just use the B wings as your 5-pointers, but I feel like Rebels are again locked into this very similar 5-5-4.
their 5-pointers are so good.
Whatever. What was it? 5-5-4-3-3 or 5-5-5-3-2, right? It seems like, yeah, you almost have to be bringing these good 5-pointers to be successful in Rebels.
Then don't look now, but Barry and Brady ran the exact same thing.
Well, that's why we were looking at what's the differences here, what's the different flavors, and
No,
nothing.
Second and third
0.
place played the exact same thing.
I mean, those are all standard loadouts, and the only person who's customized doesn't have any loadout to get upgrades. So it's not like there is a lot to modify once you've chosen the B-Wings and Hull. What about Colin? How did Colin do? Or what did Colin fly? He got 4th. I know that. What did he fly?
Battle of Yavin Luke. And this is going to be, I think this is
It's customized. I see
wedge.
upgrades. Yeah.
Yeah. So plasma torpedo, predator, and marksmanship on that I-6 customizable wedge. We have Corin Horn in the X-wing with cluster missiles, R3 Astromech, and Hopeful. And Thane Kyrell in the X-wing with proton rockets, and finishing off with Sabine Wren in TIE fighter. So this one opted for the 5-5-4-4-2 version, as you just mentioned, and bringing 4 X-wings, 4X TIE.
These are all high initiative ones too. Corn and Thane are I-5s respectively. So you got 6-5-5-5.
Yeah. Very
there's also the cluster missiles R3 Corin, which is that's maximum fun right there. Corin can pass off locks and can, in theory, pass a lock off to Luke, and then shoot his other cluster missile on the second person with his second lock, and then give that lock out to Thane. It's pretty cool. Double coordinator.
I thought his ability was only once per attack. Can he shoot both of them?
Those are 2 attacks, my friend.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, you just have to declare a target with your lock on them to be able to copy it for your friend. So
gotcha. That's why you need the R3 and cluster.
That's why you need R3.
Two different locked ships.
You would also need to lock both ships and shoot the clusters and be able to pass off 2 of them to 2 different ships.
So two different people. Yeah.
I just can give it to Sabine. Well, she can't lock you, so yeah.
She can't even lock. Yeah.
Very cool. To see there, but yeah. What do we end up for players in this one? Not that is negative. I was just interested.
30.
30 players entered. Cool. I like taking a look at these tournaments, especially the international ones, because we're all kind of in our own meta, right? So being able to look across the pond or to a different country, being able to dissect what those players are playing will hopefully give us a better idea than for what we could possibly be seeing at Worlds. We saw a lot of factions. I think the only one we didn't hit on was Republic over that. Not a lot of effort being made to play those Republic squads in these grand tournaments. So keep an eye on that. See what people are favoring. If it's just going to be old tricks, maybe a new twist, I'll have to find out. But very exciting stuff. Do you know if there's any other GTs in February or March? I know there has to be 1 and 2. I just don't know
Pull
off
up
the
the
top of my
old
head.
schedule.
Off the top of my head, I am not thinking of any.
The
But of course, by now we
2025 Grand Tournament prizes and schedule. One just happened. We have some in April. In May. Yeah, they run all the way till May. You're aware.
I think the last
They
one's
don't end at
in
Adepticon.
May in Maine. I thought was the last one. Like the last weekend of May. It's like the very, very, very last one. So yeah, it doesn't end. Technically, not over.
Yeah,
we will
not even over at Adepticon, right? We
will
still
technically
have,
hold a funeral there for X-Wing official, but
there
technically not
is.
the end.
That's Marvel Crisis Protocol. We have one in France, March 8th, prior to Worlds.
Okay.
That might be it in terms of February and March. Basically anything before we get to. I guess there was one in Australia this weekend. I have no idea where that one is, like where the results to that one is, but yeah, there was a.
Take a look at it. Take a look for it. Search
there
around.
was a GT in Australia for all 5 game lines on January 25th.
Is that? I always forget if Australia's before us. Are they in tomorrow or yesterday? I never know. So maybe that just ended recently. I have no idea. Not like recently, like during this podcast, but.
Let's say it was over the weekend where it was done because it was on the 25th of January, so it was the Saturday. So there's no time zone on the Earth that would be 3 days behind.
That's fine. Well, still some exciting stuff. Got to take a look at these different GTs. We're going to be assessing them. Like I said, we got about 2 months, less than 2 months for our time to Adepticon. So I'm excited to be joining everybody there. We're going to be prepping our minds for this. I know a lot of us have made the mental switch over to unofficial. But if you go into grand tournaments or worlds, you gotta make that shift back. So we're gonna be focusing on that. Get our chops up on the price points, upgrades. James, we gotta switch our whole mindset over to it. Where the standard points are. We'll review because there was a couple points changes since the last Worlds. So we'll review those, take a look at them. So if you are excited, not just for Worlds, but Worlds coverage or your own GTs, definitely I will be right there with you, taking a look. James is going to be there at the stream. I'm going to try to, at Worlds, I'm going to try to play a day if I can get in. Don't know more details about that, but I know James and me, we're going to be there all 4 days at Adepticon. Ryan, you already got your ticket, it sounded like. Ticket and signed up for X-Wing?
Yep, all signed up.
Fantastic. I know Marcel's going to be there as well. Dion's supposed to be making an appearance. So, if you're like, where's that Dion? Can you unfreeze him out of that carbonite chamber you keep him in?
He's mine.
We're gonna dust him off, get him off the wall, unfreeze him for Worlds. So that should be a great time. Hopefully, we'll see you there, or at least stop in on the stream. Let us know how you're doing. Share a beautiful X-Wing memory with us. So yeah, some exciting times to come. So stay tuned, of course. Here at Gold Squadron, we'll be covering it up until that point. Before I shut this thing down, anything I missed? Anything, last shout outs or anything before we get out of here?
Oh, I will likely be sending out information of how to get in touch with me so people can pre-order their work cookies.
Nice.
So, yes, because I'm driving to Worlds still, it's another like hour and a half more than previously. Plan is to offer a very similar, if not the exact same cookie deal as Last World.
You're not going to factor in the extra gas of the drive?
No, not really.
Oh, that's cool. Something we always look forward to. Sarah's cookies. The old Devdecon. Sarah? No.
Mm-hmm.
James, what's your significant other? Tara?
Right.
Raya.
Yeah. Same
My
exact
girl's-
name, but an R instead of an S.
My girl's name's Alyssa. And Marcel's girl's name's Kayla. Why do they all end in A?
We do.
What is
Yeah,
this?
they all end in
I don't
Us.
like this. I don't like this. We're too many things are colliding all of a sudden. Everything adds up to 21. We gotta get out of here.
No, it's all
Everything
all
ends in an A.
17.
Oh my god, everything ends in an A.
It's all 17. It's all coming back.
Well, we gotta get out of here. Thank you again, patrons, watchers. Comment down below on this YouTube live stream if you like that. If you notice me doing something funny in the mirror or my window reflection, timestamp it. Let me know how silly I was being. Otherwise, we'll see you next time. Stay safe, stay smart. Gold Squadron out. Hit him with the outro. Well, you gotta find it first, though. Someday you'll find it. Someday. There it is. No?
Thank you to ISO, Danko, Baffle, Trojan, Prophet, Shadow, Tycho, Spice, Raider, Lancer, Fallen, Row 6, 626, Chief, and J List, our Grand Admiral patrons. And all of our Gold Squadron patrons and community members,